Fine. So we have actually covered 4 of the modules in the series of deep learning. This is like going on the 5th module with us, right? So within these 4 modules, what we have talked about, we just have discussed that. We have talked about what is basics of deep learning, what are neural networks, what are different components involved in neural network, whether it be neuron or activation function or layers or whatever other things, right? Optimizer and all. Then we talked about writing our first neural network, discussing about keras, TensorFlow, layers, code, and all that stuff. Then we head on to CNN, convolutional neural network. So today's agenda is basically to use CNN and our existing knowledge about machine learning and deep learning and to come up with something which will be actually helpful and will display our results. Fine. So as I told you in the ending of previous class as well, that today we'll be basically going to work on to make an object detection module with CNN, with convolution neural network, or all the aspects of deep learning we know about. So what do we need to make? What is our end output? We need to make something like an object detection, okay, which can basically performs an object detection and can say, okay, this object exists there, this object exists, this object does not exist, and all of that. Now in order to do that thing, what do you all need to know about is how to load the data, how to pre-process the data, okay. So and then moving on, what to do with that data, what sort of prediction and all, how to evaluate whether your model is good or not, and then how to make prediction on the basis of that. Fair enough. This is all what we need to do, right? Any yes, any no? Please unmute yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is basically what we will be going to do. And how you will be basically going to make an object recognizer. I'll not be again going to head on and torture you. No. I'll be making an object recognizer by my own, for which I will not share the code, being very clear onto this. I will not share the code of today's class. If you want, you can fetch out the code from video, but this is something require a lot of work, so that will push you basically to write the code by your own. I will take 5 minutes to write each of the line if required. If you'll not get it, okay, even more. I'll not there will not be any limitation that there is just 30 seconds for this particular line. Each and every line I'll repeat once, more than once, n number of times, whatever number of times you'll ask me. Each and every single word I'll be going to repeat, but I will not be going to share the code. Not because there is something copyright into it or so, but I just want to push you guys to write the code by your own and come up with something. So let's do one thing. What do we need basically for in order to conduct a deep learning experiment or a machine learning experiment? We need data. And in order to need the data, we need to fetch some data storage libraries, Kaggle, this, that, and all. Right now, I want to head on to Google. Simple enough. The very first thing what you need to search on Google is, let's make an animal kind of animal object recognizer type of stuff. Do both of you agree to me on this, or you want to do something with fruits or what else? Animals would be fine.
Yeah.
So let's start and let's scrape some 10 animals of lion firstly. Okay, not 10, 10 would be big enough, it will take a lot of time. So what I want to say right here is that whatever, if we can make something with 2 classes, we can make the same entire thing with 200 classes as well. There will not be any, so we'll not be going to do any static part. We'll be doing all the things in dynamic mode. That will land us basically to a model which need not to be changed, whatever number of classes would be there and whatever number of images would be there. So we need not to worry about the size and scale of data. We just need to think of the architecture of our data. Okay, so I'll just be going to save some lion pictures. This is the first one I want to save right there on the desktop. Okay, let's make it this, then this. No, let's then some front. And let's take this one. And I just have saved 4 images simply from Google. Let's make for another one, and that could be elephant. 4 images of elephant. Let's take one more. Giraffe. Okay, so randomly I just have taken 12 images. No, 11 images. 3 for giraffe, 4 for lion, 4 for elephant. Let's put them into different folder. I'll be making here a folder with the name of object detection. Within that, I'll be making a folder into which all of our code and everything would be going to reside. So I'll be making a folder here named as data. Within data, I'll be going to make a folder of lion, elephant, giraffe. Okay, so these are 3 giraffe images. Then 1, 2, 3, and I guess 4 are. These images are not working. Well, so let's just delete these 2 images. I guess they are not working, and download some other one. So we have 2 for elephant, 3 for giraffe, and 2 for lion. Let's take these only, 2, 3 and 2. This will be enough for our prototype. So I'll be naming it, rather than object detection, I'll be naming it object detection prototype. Rest of the things we'll be going to do in full scale, but just the data is actually prototype. So let's open this folder into VS Code. That is the text editor I want to work on. Nothing so special about it. And these, wait, this is basically what my folder looks like. Into it there is something like data. Into the data there are 3 folders. Okay, so basically 3 classes: elephant, giraffe, and lion. And right here I want to create a file with the name of, let's suppose, training.py. Fair enough. So this is what my training.py looks like right here. Any doubt into this till now? I want you to please unmute yourself. To please go unmute. There is no requirement of being on mute right now. If there is no data at the back. So any problem, any issue till now? What we have done, how we have done, what to do, what not to do. Everything is so damn sorted as of now. Not getting any voice. There's some network issue or what?
Hello.
Yeah. So Mehak, I got a hello from you. That was audible. After that, I didn't get anything. I hope
Hello.
everything is so short. Yes, Mehak, you are audible.
Yeah.
So till now, everything is clear to you as well, and Raghunathan to you as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's move on. So what do we basically need to do in order to get our model trained? Firstly, what is our first step look like? We need to have the data ready with us. So how can we have the data? What is the data? The data is basically images. So let's see one thing, let's learn one thing, how to load the images data stored in our system. We will not be going to work on MNIST and all of data which is like highly populated into internet, overcrowded. We'll be simply working on the commercial scales that when you get data onto your system, so how do you basically need to load that without having any API or so? You have the data as in the name, as in the shape of folders and files, then how will you be loading that? So for that we'll be using one thing which is from IAMUtils, import paths. Okay, then I want to import CV2 as of now, and one more thing is I want to import OS. I'll be telling why so. So let's see where we'll be going to use this all. So first thing is, what is our data path? So our data path is at the point at the folder name data, which is after this particular training.py file. So after training.py file location, you need to head on to data. Okay, so that is where our actual data is stored. Elephant, giraffe, and lion. So this whole thing we need. Let's read all the files from there. So what we'll be going to do is, I will be making it a list or something. Right now what I will be writing is paths dot list images from data path and to store it into a df. Okay, so if you can recall, df is actually the short form for data frame, but that is the place where we store our x and y, combined form of x and y, the raw loaded data. So this is raw loaded data, this is not a data frame, but still for the convention part I'll be storing it right here. And let's see the df. It will be basically a kind of generator function, so we need to run it in a loop, but let's take a demo. Okay, so I want to run python 3 training.py. So it gave me a generator object. So how to run a generator object? Pass it onto a loop. So for d in data, so d stands for the 1 unit of data, print d, sorry, not in data, in df. So that is data giraffe, the image name, data giraffe image name, data giraffe image name, data elephant image name, then elephant image name, then lion, 2 images from lion. That is what our data looks like. What does this df look like? Now how to get the images out of it? This is the path of the image. You can say the relative path of the image. So how to get the data, the actual pixel value into which we need to work on. So for that we'll be going to use CV2. Right, so CV2, how can we work on CV2? So let me just show you. So CV2.imRead, passing this from a file name. So df0, every element in a df is a file name, will return you the array. So instead of 0, I want to pass it through d, wherein the d is coming from for d in df. For every image I want to load this, and I want to store it in current x. So what I want to do right here is, I want to separate x and y into a list mentioned like right here. So there is current x with this one, current x is equals to cv2.imRead dfd, where d is this particular element. Okay, so instead of dfd, that simply is d, not dfd, cv2.imRead d, because d is the element itself. So once done, what else I need to do is, basically I want to reshape that to my particular size. So I'll again be going to say current x is overwritten by cv2.reshape. What to reshape? Current x, what shape onto which we want to reshape? Suppose 100 by 100. Till this point everything is clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just put this in our data and I'll show you what is so wrong. X.append current x. So how many total images were there? 2, 3 and 2. So there is a total of 7 actually. So it should be having 7 images with 100 by 100 size. Let's not talk about y right now. Let's print x dot shape. So wherein x is our numpy dot array, for which we need numpy. Let's print the shape. Wait, cv2.cv2 doesn't have any reshape. Okay, might be something I'm missing. is it resize? Yeah, my bad. So 7 images of 100 by 100 size and 3 channels. Right. This is what it basically looks like. Fair enough. Any doubt into this? No doubt. What I want, see, basically major of the task going on into image processing is all with black and white images, not colored. So whatever we want to do is basically we work on doing the stuff on black and white images and then putting it off again on color. So how does an object is getting recognized is basically firstly locating the black, transferring it to black and white images, locating the object on black and white images and giving the result on the color images or on the text symbol. So instead of this I want to write here d comma 0, where 0 means that this is need to be read in the black and white form. Now let's see the shape. 700 100. So because there was a third channel of it where 7 means number of images, 100 comma 100 is the size, and 3 was the channel type. Okay, RGB. But in my case there is only single channel. So for that I want to use something which is from Keras. Basically I want to have it like 700 100 comma 1. So right now I'm just having 100 100. So I want to add 1 here. So Keras dot pre-processing import. What was that? I forgot. Get. Okay, it was img to array. So I want to have Keras dot pre-processing img to array, and again I want to pass this entire stuff through that img to array. Let's see the shape now. Okay, it's importing Keras and all the warnings and all. Cannot import name img to array. Something wrong into this. Might be I'm missing spelling also. Wait. I was just missing out the import part. Yeah, now fine. So it's having 700 101. So what I was missing is basically it was not under Keras preprocessing and then img to array. It was basically under Keras dot preprocessing dot image. Within that package, it was having with this name. So I hope till this thing even I'm clear that what all I have done. So till now basically we are ready with our X part, not Xtrain, Xtest or nothing with Y, but we are ready with simple our complete X part. Let's make Y. And what is basically our Y? The question is to Mehak. What is Y? What is basically the data?
The
How
label
is representing Y? There is no label feature into this data. What is? How can? Where is this mentioned that this is elephant?
the output.
Output. Okay, so output basically will be should be that it is elephant, But where exactly it is mentioned as of now? How would a data frame get to know that this is elephant?
The training set will tell it, right?
Yeah. How will I say basically which is my y? Earlier we used to have a column which we used to draw from x, add it to y. So, but what is so special into this image that will say, okay, this is giraffe and that is an elephant to the training part?
Like how will we represent it? We can give the numbers like 1 belongs to giraffe, 2 belongs to elephant.
But how do we do it? Like, should we do it manually?
We can
Using label encoder.
Okay, Raghunathan, you said something, I didn't get it actually. Can you please repeat?
Something like label encoder. Or
No, that label encoding is only and only be done when we would be having some data.
some labels.
The question is, where is the data?
we can number the folders, like the folder that contains giraffe.
Right, so why can't we take the name of the folder rather? So we need to fetch the name of the folder which is the corresponding label for this particular, these all images. Now if I will store the images of lion with the name of images with the name of the folder as rabbit, then my data would store the entire features of being a lion to the name of rabbit. That is not the problem with data, that is the problem with the person who have actually created that data or used that data. So my model will learn the name of the folder corresponding to the name features mentioned into the images. So for that, I show you how can we basically fetch the folder part. I've shown you in the starting that what does my data frame look like. This one. So you can see that every second last element is the label name itself, the folder name. So giraffe, elephant, lion. So last element is the image name. Second last element is the folder name, which will be the case for you wherever you store the data, no matter. So my label would be, or simply my current y would be, so I am working on current x and current y. So current y would be d dot split. Split on what? So split function basically needs something to split it. So if I'll say here spaces, so it will basically split by space. So I want to split by slashes. But if you notice, these slashes are reversed in Windows. So Windows use this sort of slashes and Linux use this slashes. So this whole thing can be brought down and generalized by using os.path.sep separator simply.
I'm having an error in importing CV2.
Okay, so you might not be having CV2 installed in your system. You need to install it by writing pip install opencv dash python opencv hyphen python. Don't worry, I'll give you time to do the things by your own. Let's just stick to this for now, and I'll be giving you time to do the things, and then I'll be sorting out all the doubts right here. So coming on to this again, why I have used this particular os.path.sep instead of a slash, because when you turn this program to Windows, it will basically, you will find that front slash and backward slash is the issue causing. So we don't want anything to be changed in our code. Okay, so we want to make it a generalized one, and that is what we are doing right here. So this is the one. Now what we need the second last element of it. So we said -2. Now let's see. So current y is d dot split os path sep -2 y dot append current y. Now let's see y. This is what my y look like: giraffe, 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 elephant, elephant, lion, lion. Okay, so giraffe would be having 3 elements, then 2 of elephant, 2 of lion, right? Fair enough. We are ready with our x and y, but y is not in number. So in order to convert it into number, one thing I can do is label encoding. Another thing I can do is get dummies. So I would better prefer to go with get dummies. Okay, so I would be importing something in order to get the get dummies part. I would be saying import pandas as pd, or simply I can just import that particular get dummies from pandas, because anything else I don't need. So I say from pandas import get dummies, and my y would be y is equals to get dummies y. Now let's print y. So this is our y look like. So one column for elephant, one column for giraffe, one column for lion. Wherever there was an elephant into it, so that is having 1 and 1 for elephant and 0 and 0 for others. Then giraffe right here 1 1 1. Then lion right here 1 1, and all others are 0. Fair enough. Anything wrong till now? So we have created our x and we have created our y.
Can you
Is this
explain the code once again
Yeah.
after that current y?
Sure. So y dot append current y is clear, I guess.
Yeah.
So it will basically append the name giraffe, elephant, lion into that. Then what I did, I imported getDummies part. So what getDummies will do basically, it will create dummy column for all the given names. And when it creates the dummy column, how would it populate? See, every row would be having all the 0 except 1, and that 1 is the particular value for that row. So you can see in the previous output there was giraffe, giraffe, giraffe for 3 times, elephant, elephant for 2 times, and then lion and lion for 2 times. And you can see it right here as well. So in the first 3 rows there was giraffe, giraffe and giraffe, then 2 elephant and then 2 lion. Rest of them were 0. So for the first, second, third row, giraffe was active, rest of them were 0. For third and fourth, sorry, fourth and fifth, 1 and 1 for elephant, rest of them for 0. And then for last, lion was active, rest of them for 0. Is this clear now?
Yeah.
Sure. So this is what I did. So no more printing. Now we are ready with x and y. If we want, we can.
Which path step does
Sorry.
current y is equal to d split OS path step? What does it do?
Okay. Let's see what is d. Let's break it down. So I want to do the things for one particular only. So I would be writing here print d, and I want to comment these whole thing as well. So that's what our d look like, data slash giraffe slash this file name. So this meub is basically the file name stored right here. This is the one meubj. So okay, so it was reading it like data giraffe so we are not concerned with this meub anymore because we have the image with us in our x part. We are concerned with this giraffe word. Okay, so for that what we basically will be doing, firstly we want to separate it with slash. So I can do it like d dot split slash, and let's see how it look. It will be a list of all the elements splitted by slash. So data, then giraffe, and then this meub, all that dot jpg. Okay, which particular one I need? I need the second last. Why second last and not second? So if you store it in some hierarchy, so there second last always would be the label, but not always second. You can have it inside and inside and inside in the 10th level, but it would always be the second last level. So I would have kept it second last. So it is d dot split slash -2. Let's see, is that thing what we need? Yeah, so we need this giraffe. And similarly, if I comment all of them, we need this thing: giraffe, 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 elephant, elephant, lion, lion. Right. Now, but the thing is, when you run this program into Windows, in Windows they use forward slash instead of backward slash. So they use this, and Linux uses this, and same with Mac. So the problem is that our program would be Linux specific or Windows specific. But there is one thing in order to help it out, which is known as os.path.sep. Let me show you what it is. Sorry. So os.path.sep, if you'll run it on Windows, it will give you reverse slash, whereas it is giving me forward slash because I am on Linux as of now. So this will give you the separating part for that particular OS. That is what basically we are doing into this program. Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now we have this X and Y part. So let's create X test, train and test split. So I would be writing here from model sklearn model selection. You can use your own. You can use like whichever version you want to. K-fold or whatever. So I would be sticking to this for now. Then I would say X train, X test, Y train, Y test is equals to train test split X comma Y comma test size 0.2 random state is equals to 40. Okay, so 0.2 of 8. Let's take it. So how many images were there? 3, 2 and 2. Let's add one more image into it. So let's just leave it. Fine. 0.25 I'm doing. Okay. So let's see the size. There were 7 images in total. Okay. Because the size is 500, 101, 200, 101. So X train and X test. And similarly for labels, 5 labels and 2 labels. Fair enough. We can move on. We have X train, X test, Y train, Y test with us. We have the data simply. Now let's go for heading out to model. So how can we create the model? I would need to write from keras dot models import sequential from keras dot layers import which all layers I need in order to implement CNN. Sorry,
POV 2D.
I didn't get it. I'm not getting the voice.
Con 2D.
Con 2D, convolution 2D. Then we need max pooling 2D. Okay, then we need flatten, and then we need dense. These are the 4 lengths we need to use, layers we need to use. Then we need to create a model instance. Model is equals to sequential model dot add. First layer would be convolution 2D. Okay, what would be there inside this layer? So at some later on scale, let's make it right like this way. I would be having something like input shape. What is my input shape? 100 comma 100 comma 1. This is my input shape. What is the first thing I need to have? How many filters? I would be going with 32 filters as of now. Then what I need to pass on? Kernel size. So my kernel size would be 3 by 3 simply. Okay, anything else I need to pass? No. So this is what my convolution function looks like. Something wrong into this one. Wait. Yeah, activation I forgot. Thank you. Let's go with Relu as of now. Something wrong with this input shape. Okay, input shape I forgot to give equal and I was looking for what is wrong with it. Fine, dump me. Then we need to go for max pooling. Sorry, model dot add max pooling. What we need to pass on is pool size. Okay, so if you can see that whenever I use VS Code, it keep on giving me suggestions and suggestions and suggestions. So I'll go for 3 by 3 for my pool size, and I go for kernel to be 5 by 5. Then one more convolution and pool. No more input as of now. I hope the data would be there. So enough for that. Now model dot add flatten. So if your size is actually big enough, I'm just using 100 by 100 as of now. If your size is big enough, you can use more number of layers into it. Model dot add flatten, model dot add dense. Let's suppose with 500 nodes. Not actually, you can check, you can like use it your way. It is not required to be always squarish. Fine. And then list the final layer. So what will be the size of this final layer? What do we need to pass? What do I need to pass here? 1. Seriously? Actually no.
3.
Because
3.
sorry,
3, I think.
3. Okay. So how do you get to know about 3? You will actually
So there
not
are
get
3
to know.
classes.
Thing is, you need to check it anytime. If I'll add a column here, your 3 classes would add a folder here, your 3 classes would be turned out to 4. So I would rather generalize it by saying length of set of y. Okay, so set of y means all the unique y and the length of that, or simply write here y dot columns. Even set is not required then. So y, see what is y dot column? Let's see. Okay, so y dot column is elephant, giraffe, lion. So what is the length of this y dot column? Let's see that. So whatever would be the length, it will be used. So it is 3, right? So not directly, but indirectly we are using 3. So why indirectly? Because whenever we make any changes into data, this thing will not be reflected out, right? So we are done with our model. Next task is to, what is the next task, Raghunathan?
Compile.
Compile. So model dot compile, we need to give 3 things: loss, metrics, optimizer. Okay, so optimizer will be using Adam, metrics will be using accuracy, okay, and loss I'll be using categorical cross entropy. Why categorical? Because there are multiple columns for this. So compile. What else? Model dot save. Okay, before save we need to go for training at least. So model dot fit on X train, Y train, epochs 10, batch size 1 because I don't have enough of data. And then last, model dot save trained model dot pickle file. Okay, let's run. Because just don't focus on loss, accuracy and all of that, because we didn't have data actually. and we even didn't have written commercial convolution, but what I want to show you is the approach. Okay, so this whole thing you need to basically do. So this is all required in order to make an object classifier, and let's see what would how would it be predicting, not what predicting, but how would it be predicting. So no doubt it will predict giraffe for elephant, elephant for giraffe. That is completely acceptable. But let us see how it actually predict. Let's see that. So in order to make prediction, I again need to have a file, the prediction.py file. Okay. So where is my prediction part saved? Into examples folder. Let's take a new image from the Google of giraffe itself, or of, let's say, of giraffe. Okay, moreover you can check the accuracy with model.evaluate for testing part as well. I'll take some image which is not I have already taken. My internet is going so slow. So I'm taking this one, and I'm very damn sure that it might not give me the output as giraffe, but let's see. Give samples this particular image. Let's just close it. Okay, so what do I need? Again I need from IAMUtils import paths, then I need to say data is equals to, okay, I'll just be copying the same thing from there, nothing else is required. Data path, this. Okay, so there is no such x and y as of now, but I need to read it at least, and whenever I read that, I need to pass it on df test or df predict. Fair enough, then no y, no get dummies, nothing, no model, no compile, no fit, no save. Let's move on to from keras dot models import load model. Okay, I'll say trained model is equals to load model. What is the file name? The file name is trained model.pickle. Okay, so trained model is equals to load model trained model.pickle. Trained model dot predict for df underscore predict. Let's see, and I want to print that. Oh, sorry, I just have run training file. I want to run prediction file. CV2 is not defined. Sorry, my bad again. We need CV2. We need from keras, pre-processing, all of that. I guess everything is defined right now. Unable to lock file, source temporary. Okay. There's something wrong with the file going on actually. Don't know what it is, but
Sir, you have saved with the pickle extension.
sorry. Yeah, but like that will not make sense. I forgot to actually save it in H5py, or you can save it in any format. That will not make sense. But pickle actually shouldn't be used, but I don't think so. It will make sense anyhow. Let's try. Let's search this entire stuff on Google and see. Or else what we can do is we can again run the training file. Might be something wrong we are doing. And let's make a new model right here. Save model H5py. Okay, something wrong with the list. Okay, now I guess my model is working. Then on another part there is something wrong going on. Expected to see the fine. Instead of data I need to give examples. I gave wrong directory path. Cool. Used to write and text. Which is taking one more image of rabbit and will be storing into it. Wait, yeah, something wrong I'm doing right here into this df predict. Fine, I got it. So what is the output right there? 3042.8918 minus 1078 minus 829. On the second one it is 2896 minus 1039 minus 784. Which is the maximum? Simply for both of the cases the first one is actually maximum. Okay, so that means it is simply giving so what was the first class? We can make a kind of data structure, a kind of file into which we can define what was our first class, what was our second class, what was our third class, right? So the first class was nothing but the first class was basically giraffe, I guess. Yeah, first class was giraffe, second was elephant, and third was lion. Now if I would have had 4 classes earlier, let's move this rabbit from here to here. Now my data is of 4th class, 4 classes. I need not to do anything, I'll just be going for training.py. We'll be running for 4 classes, then I'll be going for predictions.py. Then there was only one file which was of that, I guess, giraffe. Okay, and it distributed it into these 4 parts. This and this and this and this and this. I guess I have done something wrong into my activation function. Right, I forgot to mention activation function. I should be going for activation is equals to softmax right here. And what it would have done, I'll show you. I need to train my model again. So right now you can see I'm getting just all the values, but then when I'll do softmax, so 100 or simply 1 would be distributed among these 4 stuff. So I'll be training my model again with softmax as my activation function. So 0 to 1 they will be having the values, and the total of all of them would always be 1. So 0.4 plus 0.2 which is 0.6 plus 0.3 which is 0.9, and rest of all of them would turn out to be 0.1. So basically it is 100% with 40% focus on giraffe. Let's try with the same image of lion. I don't know it will work or not. Okay, so this is the second image I'm running on. So now you can see it is not taking time of that 10 epoch running. It again gives me the value on the first one itself. Yeah, 4, 2, 3 and 2. On the first part it gave me 9.98 for giraffe. On the second part it gave 4.3 or simply 0.4 it is, because it is having e raised to power minus 0.1 for giraffe again. So it is slightly overfitted for giraffe. Because we don't have data, we cannot say why it is overfitted, why is it underfitted, what to do, what not to do. If you do not have data, you cannot do anything with your model. Now just take a moment, read out this entire code, do not start copy pasting, read out this entire code, and once you'll be done with reading, just let me know, I'll scroll it down. Then again read out the bottom part, and then once you'll be done, you need to implement it by your own. Stop being over smart, do not try to clip that code or so. It will be better if you'll write it by your own. I would be definitely there to share the code, but I want you to write it. If any error or something would come up, ask me that particular line, I'll rectify. Instead of giving you the entire code, I'll give you some chunks of code. Okay, so take your time, read this. This is the first object detector we have basically built without any accuracy as of now, for sure, but we know what is the architecture of an object recognizer for now. I'll just be putting myself on mute for a while, and I'll come up in a moment. So whatever you will be having, you can ask right now. Are we done till now? Should I scroll it off? Please do not write the code, I again request you. What is after test size? I didn't get it. Okay, give me line number if you can, please. Oh, okay. So test size I given 0.25, random stat is equals to 40. This is what it is. Okay, I'll just put it on the next line. So random stat is nothing but I want this data to be exactly same. I'll just show you what is random stat. Good question. If you don't know about it, you should be knowing. That's something cool. Let's not put random state right here, and let's print y test. Okay, so my y test is having 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0. That means the second class, whatever it would be. And let's run the same thing again without any change in the code. Now my y got changed. Let's run it again. Again it got changed. So what it is doing, it is randomly picking any y, any x. Okay, so what I want it to be with a particular random value. So the random formula would be having the seed 40, 30, 20, anything you can place it. So with 40, if you are getting one output one time, with the same output all the time. So this is with first time, same on second time, same on third time. Fine, so if you change it to 30, the value will change, but they will be consistent on whatever the value is. That is what this random state will do. I hope you are not writing and not clicking up the code. Okay, so let's see the same thing we have done into prediction as well. We gave a data path, we loaded all of the data, we fetched out x and populate a list of all the x's with the name of df predict, passed it, loaded the model, passed it on to that predict df underscore predict, and it was predicting. Simple thing which we have done. Now what I want is I want you to write the entire code, scrape some images from Google, write the entire code and come up with an object recognizer, and you have 20 minutes for that. I wrote the entire code in 1 hour with all the explanation, even even less than 1 hour. I want you to write the entire code without any explanation. Now you know what to write, now you know what to do. Do it in minimum amount of time. Whatever there would be an error or so, I would be there to rectify that. And I'll come to Skype as of now. Are you guys doing it? Raghunathan, are you doing it?
Yes, sir. One second, sir. It's showing an error. One second.
Yeah, just share me the screenshot of whatever the error is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to install these packages. You need to install IAMutils. You need to install OpenCV Python. Make sure you will be having these packages installed into yours. Is it sorted, Raghunathan? Mehak, is this going smooth into you? Like all the things are
Sir,
sorted out?
hello.
Yes, Raghunathan.
Sir, the no module. I need to install module. I'm it will installing, sir. One second.
It's installed in. Okay. So, Mehak, are the things going like clearly smooth onto your part? Okay. It is image img.array. It is not imp.array. img_2_array. Yeah, so you forgot to add comma 0 while writing cv2.imread. cv2.imread in bracket d comma 0. So because that is, what do you want is a black and white stuff, not color. So 3 channel means it's colored. So Mehak, are you using that img2 array in bracket d? Are you using that particular line? You're supposed to use that because you want it to be 9 comma 100 comma 100 comma 1, not 9 comma 100 comma 100. What is the issue going on, Raghunathan? It is, I'll just write the
Sir,
command. IAMutils is done, I guess.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
These are the commands.
Hello.
Yes, Raghunathan.
Sir, it's still going on, sir.
Yeah, okay, it might take time. Yeah, sure. I'll just. Okay, so this is what you need to do for inside the loop, not outside the loop, before appending. Mehak, I mentioned that please put that before append. That current x is equals to img to array should be before x dot append. If you are doing it later on, that doesn't make any sense. That will be only ruined. Please put it before append. Raghunathan, it's just stuck somewhere. Do you have core Python installed in your system, like the base Python, apart from Anaconda?
Hello?
Yes, Raghunathan. Do you have it installed in your system?
Yes, sir.
Then you can try it right there. Instead of going for Anaconda, you can try going it right there on the core Python. Okay, so Mehak, what you are missing is that get dummies part. You haven't implemented that get dummies. Your y is a single column array, but it should be a 3 column array.
Hello,
Yes, Raghunathan.
sir. Can you tell me steps to execute in normal Python? I didn't.
The same thing which you have, which I had given you. Pip install IAMutils and pip install OpenCV Python. Okay, Mehak, coming to your doubt. So what I guess the thing is that you are using the get dummies part of Y for. Can you show me the complete code? Can you just show me the complete code? Like yeah, screen sharing would work. Wait, then I'm just reading it out. Wait. Can you, Raghunathan, can you please put it on mute? Okay, and the next part, Mehak. Right. See, that's what I was saying. That your X train and Y train are created before get dummies. I need to check it from the previous screenshot itself, but I missed. Just swap the line, yeah. Swap this line and the above, yeah. Then now your Y train is coming from Y train Y test is coming from the get dummied Y. Fine. So have you saved the model? Okay, just write the command for saving the model as well. Go ahead. So now the next part is to call the model and make prediction out of it. Yes, whatever required you need to import. So guys, what's the progress? Yeah. So now you need to load the model. Okay, so wait, you need not to go for importing sequential, dense, get dummies, and model selection. These are not required. Okay, so you just need keras.preprocessing.image, and you need CV2. You don't even need OS. You don't even need NumPy, and you don't need path. Okay, you need path. Fine. Path and CV2 and keras preprocessing. These are all things required. Okay, so then you need to load the model with keras.preprocessing. No, sorry, keras.models, import load models, and then model is equals to load model, that file name. Raghunathan, what is going on at your end? Raghunathan, you don't even have NumPy installed in it, so please import NumPy first. No, you need to go for model.predict df. Sorry, wait. Df predict actually, which is your list, data list. Model.predict df predict. What is the error actually? Okay, can you show me the code? Okay, so after the loop, I'm just sending you a line of code. After the loop, just execute this one. So what is going on at your side, Raghunathan? Can you just share your screenshot or something?
So I need to install CV2 all of this. And I'm on installed only on Anaconda, sir. So
Hello.
sir, I need to install Keras, all of this on my.
Okay, then see what you can do is you can refer video and write the code. I want you to write the code by your own. That's why I'm not going to share the code. And is it working at your side, Mehak? Are you getting the output as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. So what basically we did today is basically we have head on to learning about what is object detection and how does it what are the different steps. I need not to tell you what is object detection. That is simply like telling
Why
out
did we use softmax in activation?
why did we use softmax. Okay, so what does softmax do? It basically distribute 0 to 100 among different classes. So if there would be 10 classes, so it will distribute all the 10 classes with 0 to 100, right? And then you will get to know about, okay, this particular class has the maximum of it. So that is why this particular class is the most probably to be this object, right?
Yeah.
So we got 0 to 100 or rather in 0 to 1 on a minimized scale. So on 0 to 1 is distributed among giraffe, lion and elephant. And in the 1 we were getting 40% also 0.4. That was our predicted class. That is why we basically use softmax. Okay, so we talked about what is an active, what is object detection, how do basically we implement that, what are the different steps. We wrote it step by step. We did a lot of debugging. Whatever the error came, we debugged that, and then at the end we saved the model and we loaded it into different file. Okay, now let's talk about your project. What is your project and when you need to submit that. This is 25th May. You need to submit that by 1st May. Will it be fine? 1 week exactly. Please unmute yourself, both of you, and let's take a
First
discussion.
June.
Yes, Raghunathan, some noise from your back. I understand. So you can reply it on text. So 1st June will be comfortable for both of you. 1 week exactly. Next Monday.
What do we have to submit?
You need to make an object classifier which would be grounded and accurate enough to give the prediction. Okay. So how will I be going to make prediction? You need to give me a basic model and the file wherein I can run the model by giving my choice of image. Okay. So whatever pre-processing is required for your sort of stuff, you need to do it by your own. Then what I'll be doing is you just need to give me that examples folder. So in that folder I'll put my image and your model should be working like logically on my given image. So I'll be giving some common images only. I'll not be giving any complex picture of any object or so. I'll be giving any common image. And you need to give me 10 choices, that these are the 10 choices out of which you can give any image, and your model should have been trained on more than 1,000 classes. Okay. Then only it will be a good quality model. It will take a lot of time, it will spin up a lot of CPU in order to get trained. Now let's talk about from where you will get the data. You cannot actually scrape thousands of classes and 100,000 photos in total. What you need to look out is you need to look out for some sample data. You can start your model with this Caltech stuff. So Caltech has a 100 classes dataset and a 250 classes dataset, 256 I guess. You can better start with this 256 class data. I'll just show it up to you. Okay, so this is pedestrian data. Wait. Not Keras. I guess it's there in Kaggle as well, but This is something right there. So I'll just send you this link. Okay, with this download button, you can actually download that. I'm just sharing you the link. Fine. So you need to fetch 256 classes. You will get from here 256 or 260 classes. Other classes you can fetch from other sources. But firstly, build a model ready enough for this particular classes, for these 250 classes, right? Then you can look out for other sources as well. On internet, there will be enough of sources to work on. Then you need to write the model. Obviously, this particular architecture of convolution will not work. You need to implement more complex architecture with more than one convolution layer and more than one pooling layer. What all we did today, it was having one convolution, one pooling, then second convolution, second pooling. You can even supposed to go to 10 convolutions and pooling pure. So convolution pooling, convolution pooling, convolution pooling for 10 times and even more, because this is the commercial scale used to be there in the case of deep learning, 15 layers or so. Then obviously your filters would not be 1632. Yeah, just in the case of starting, you need to go for more number of filters. And if your data would be good enough, you need to very particular about your epoch and batch size. And then at the end, when you go for training, it will take a day or more to get trained when you implement it fully. So you need to start working, you need to put, so basically you need to manage your time, that how do you be going to do that. Write all the code in the evening part, put your model on the training by the night and let it train overnight. That is the only way to cope up with deep learning in the starting. Or else, if you do have some credit card or something with you, I can tell you how to get that GCP part for free, and then you can try going for GCP, running your all the stuff into GCP part. Moreover, for this particular part, you can actually watch the video. It is already available on YouTube channel of CurveSkills. You can check it on the cloud and deployment part. There I have mentioned how to particularly get GCP for free of cost. So it will give you $300 as a credit part without any money, and then once done, you can stop that particular stuff. So it will be stopped. So rest all it depends on you, that how accurate your model would be on my given class. So I'll be coming up with some 10 classes, and then I'll be checking so what is the result of your model on those given 10 classes. The same 10 classes I'll be using on both of your models. So I'll see which person of you will score better into that. Fair enough. Will it be deliverable by Monday, next Monday?
Fully.
I didn't get the voice if you have said something. Raghunathan, will it be done? Hopefully, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I would be ready to extend the time, but I need something really solid by next Monday. So if you have done 90% of the task, I would be happy to extend the time. But if you have done just 10% of the task, that will show off that what was the level of your ignorance for this particular project. I wouldn't accept any kind of ignorance onto this. You need to be very clear on whatever you are using, and you need to give me entire documented code. Your code should be having comments. You need to assume that I'm just a 10th class pass out and a beginner in machine learning. I don't know anything about deep learning. You need to write document to so that the person could be able to read that. Okay. So let's see you in the next class. Then in the next class, we'll be going to talk about RNN, the next model. We have done enough of CNN. We have implemented that. So next we'll be going to talk about RNN, recurrent neural network. Okay. So again, we'll be having a bit of mathematics, bit of theory, bit of practical code, everything into it, hands-on, and all of that. And once done, then we'll be moving on to ahead, like afterwards algorithms and so on. Okay. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.